Hello everyone and welcome back to another IronCAD video. Today we'll be going through another TooTallToby model dated 0211, the hanging pulley mount. So looking at this model, it's actually a very simple model, but there's a few things that we can do to help make this model complete. So more specifically, looking at the base, it'll be just a basic extrude block that will adjust to the correct size. But what we'll take a look at is more specifically here, we have a 1 degree radius, a 1 inch radius, and then we'll have a 5-inch radius here that will be connected together. So we'll go through this, and then we'll also have just these slots here that we'll be able to use with some dimensioning. But overall, this will be a very simple part that we can put together. So we will begin. So looking at this, we can drag out an extrude block. We can drag out to be the correct length, which would be 9. We'll create the width to be 3, and then the total height to be 3/8, so 0.375. What we'll do now is we'll go in and add a blend. Oops. So like this. Blend, it'll be 0.5. So we'll have 0.5 on the ends. Let's actually go back and delete these. We'll zoom in here, zoom in here, bring this out, and we'll zoom in here. So we'll have our blends. And what we'll do is we'll also add the cut holes just to make it simpler for ourselves. So we'll add a cut hole here in the middle. The total diameter will be 0.625. And then this needs to be brought out to be 3.5, as the total distance between the two will be 7. Just move this perspective view. So we can drag this out to be 3.5. Okay. And then we'll simply hit this axis, right click and drag, we'll link it, and it'll be 7, just like this. We'll bring out another extrude block. We'll make sure that it's flush on both sides, and we'll bring this up to be 5.5 from the bottom. So we have this base here. Come to the front view, we'll adjust this to be 2.5, as in the drawing, the minimum width from the arc from these points, this point needs to be 2.5. Okay. What we'll do now is we'll bring out an extrude cylinder. We'll adjust this to be 3 for the diameter, as the radius was 1.5. And then what we'll do is we'll grab hold of this handle here. See how we can grab a hold of the handle. There we go. Hold shift, bring it to the back, bring this here. And this is our base. We can start. So now what we'll do is we'll create the arcs that go like this. So we'll go into our 2D sketch to create this. Put the sketch there. Okay. And we'll actually have 2 tangent and 1 point circle to help create the arc. So we use this. Oops. Before we do that, we'll actually project these sketches here. Project this one. Project here. And we'll project here. Okay. Now we'll go and do the two tangents and 1 point. So tangent to this circle, tangent to this face, and then what we'll do is we'll right click and then we'll change the radius to 5. So this will give us this arc. We'll go and have a 2-point line, and where this point connects is where we'll draw the line across. This will give us that flush look. We'll come in, we'll start trimming, trim, trim, trim. All right, and so we'll just extend this line. Okay, we'll extend it up to here. Oh, let me trim this as well. Trim, and then we'll mirror this face. Trim this. Okay, then we'll mirror this line using this axis. All right, there we are. And then what we can do is we can just trim this little bit here. So this will give us our 5-degree radius for this side. And what we'll do is we'll go here, finish. Then we just go to our features. We'll extrude it from this point, or from this part, reverse, and we'll have this to be 3 inches. And just like this, we have our radius. But to create that 1 degree radius, we'll go to our blend. We'll create it to be 1. Oops. Let me go back and edit this. We'll create this to be 1. So 1. And then we'll have this to be 1 here. 1 inch, 1 inch. Ah. Let's delete that and let's try it one more time. 1 inch. Let me close it. Let me try one more time. 1 inch. Okay, there we go. 1 inch. There we go. So now we have our 1 inch radius. Like this. 1 inch radius, and then our 5 inch radius as well. Wonderful. So now what we'll do is we'll add our cut cylinder here in the middle. This has a diameter of 1.5. Make sure this goes all the way through. Wonderful. And what we'll do now is we'll create these cuts here as well. So we'll have to go back into Sketch to do this. So we'll create our sketch here. Click OK. And so what will help us out a lot is if we use the project tool. The project tool to project this line, here, here. And then if you project this bottom line. And then we'll use the offset tool. So we'll begin with just the side lines first, and then we'll come back to the circle, to the middle cylinder, the middle cut there. So we'll project here and here. So this needs to be 0.625. Oh, it just did it. We'll do it again. 0.625, and we'll flip the direction inside. So there's that. And then we'll offset again. This line here needs to be 0.75. And then we'll click OK. I believe it did it with this, so we can delete these. All right, and then what we'll do is we'll project once again this circle here. We'll offset it. Yes, we'll flip it in the outside direction, and we'll keep it 0.625. There we go. We'll click OK. So this will give us our baselines. So what we'll do now is we'll start trimming. We'll trim this, get rid of this, we'll get rid of this. It's getting rid of the constraints of the 0.625. That's why it's coming up with those error messages, but no worries. We'll trim here, trim there. We're gonna trim everywhere. And we'll get rid of this. Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll divide it. So we'll bring 2 lines here, 2 lines. So we'll double check to make sure it's 0.75, good. This line from the bottom needs to be 1.75, wonderful. And this one from the bottom needs to be 2.375, wonderful. And what we can do is we can extend these lines just a little bit, just so they can connect. All right, and then we'll just trim the rest. And we'll trim this line here and this line here. Make sure these lines are connected also. And then now what we'll do is we'll add a fillet. We'll have the 0.25 degree fillet or inch fillet. We'll go ahead and we'll just click on this, making sure the fillets are being added just like so. We'll click OK. And now what we'll do is we'll go back to feature. We'll hit extrude, extrude cut. Select this part here. Select these, have them reverse to be 3 inches, and we'll have remove material. And this will give us our cuts. And last but not least, what we'll do is we'll bring out an extrude cut. Just pop it on this face. We'll bring it up. We'll bring it up to be flush. We'll bring this up to this point. We'll go all the way through. And what we'll do is we'll make sure that from this point it's 0.375 to this face, and from this side it's 0.375 to this face. And here's our part. Now if we go to our properties, the density is 7800, And this is our mask. Thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.